Honey, do y'all recall the chaos when Tamar randomly blocked her sister Toni online? Poor Toni only discovered it after attempting to tag Tamar on her own birthday. Allegedly. Turns out the drama ran way deeper, with insiders spilling that Tamar was out here spreading every kind of dirt on her sister. And word is, it all circled right back to Birdman.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust her.
Because you bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes.
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
She my life.
I'm not exactly saying it was some love story, but the streets were buzzing that the marriage and the divorce might have just been Toni's hustle on Birdman, since she's broke. Allegedly, that's the same messy tale Tamar has been whispering behind the curtain. So is this her revenge play after all the recent sister drama? Let's dig in. And y'all already know, life with the Braxton has been one wild roller coaster, and their non-stop chaos, especially with Tamar, has only blown up more these past few months. She had a full-on meltdown before nuking her socials, dropping explosive rants on her ex's page accusing her family of being toxic. In those now-vanished ex posts, she wrote, "Y'all don't even know. Not a clue. The gaslighting is insane, and I'm heading back into treatment. OMG, I just hope my marriage survives and my life gets spared. My family is horrible." In another post she raged, "I hate my life. My family's toxic. I never should have returned to BFV." And now Tamar is spilling that in the next season of the Braxtons, producers actually pushed her to be Tawanda's maid of honor, but confessed the invite felt totally fake. She revealed she wasn't at the bridal shower and nobody kept her updated, saying she basically got a last-minute text a week before the wedding asking her to step in. Tamar noted how Tawanda had Toni and Trina deeply involved, making them feel special while she was iced out. Because of that and constant friction with Tawanda's new husband, who Tamar claims trashed her and stirred up drama, she chose to skip the wedding altogether. Sure, we all knew her bond with Tawanda was rocky, but Toni? I honestly thought they were solid. Well, turns out not. Reports say their beef goes back to last year, and Toni only discovered the rift on Tamar's last birthday when she realized she was blocked. Toni even admitted it herself, writing, "I wanted to repost that stunning picture of you, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tam." Meanwhile, Tamar fired back, calling it straight-up gaslighting, saying Toni could have just picked up the phone. Later, Tamar dropped screenshots of a text exchange between her and her sister in her IG story, showing them just a day earlier trying to figure out which city the other was in. Now y'all, I can't say when or how this beef with Toni really kicked off, but the streets are buzzing that Tamar has been out here claiming her sister only tied the knot with Birdman for the cash. Allegedly. And when it comes to that Birdman relationship, back when they first got together, both Toni and Birdman discussed marriage, but the wedding never went down. Toni claimed they kept delaying it over work obligations, but let's be real, that was pure nonsense. If she wanted to marry him, she would've. And don't forget, right after that, Toni said her $1 million engagement ring mysteriously vanished, supposedly stolen from her checked luggage. The entire mess was beyond suspicious. Next thing we saw, the pair split in 2019. Birdman dropped a lonely, cryptic "It's over" caption on Instagram before wiping every trace of Toni from his page. Meanwhile, Toni posted herself in a red gown, captioning, "Starting a new chapter isn't always easy, but always choose to be chosen. Cheers to a new year." Yet only weeks later, the two seemed back on after reuniting on stage during Toni's Atlanta tour stop at the Fox Theater. But fast forward to December 2023, and Toni shut down the marriage chatter, posting, #fake news. "My dear friend Birdman and I are not married, never have been. We're both single." But then, in a jaw-dropping twist of events, it came out this year that they secretly tied the knot, only to split 48 hours later. Court documents I pulled showed Toni and Birdman using just their initials, TB and BW. They clearly hoped no one would connect the dots, but it didn't take a genius to figure it out. Records confirm Toni and Birdman secretly married on August 8th, and the papers show they split on August 10th. Just 2 weeks later, Toni filed for divorce, with her lawyer labeling the marriage irretrievably broken. But here's the kicker, yeah, they called it quits 2 days after marrying. But in January 2025, Toni actually withdrew the divorce filing, and Birdman signed off right along with her. So technically, they're still husband and wife. But happily married? That's a whole different question. Because even with Toni Braxton and Birdman's legal tie still intact, all the clues scream it's done. Neither of them has been spotted with rings, and both have wiped each other's photos clean from their Instagram pages. Strange, right? Anyway, with all this unfolding, folks began whispering that Toni only married Birdman for the cash. And honestly, considering her shaky finances these past few years, it wouldn't be shocking. Sure, no one can deny Toni is one of the most legendary female R&B voices ever. She launched her career singing with her sisters in the Braxtons back in the late 80s, then scored a solo deal for her 1993 debut, Toni Braxton, an instant smash that shot to #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold 10 million copies. Standout hits like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song pushed the album, produced by legends Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid. Toni followed that blockbuster with another mega success, Secrets, which featured the monster hit Unbreak My Heart. That single alone sold 10 million copies worldwide, cementing itself as one of the biggest songs ever. Over her career, she's dropped 9 studio albums, the latest in 2020, and every one of them did well. But the real shocker? Despite raking in more than $170 million in sales for her label, Toni Braxton still had to file bankruptcy more than once. Here's the kicker, while she pulled in millions for Arista, she personally made less than 35 cents per album. She even hit the label with a lawsuit. And by January 1998, just 8 weeks after suing, Toni was already filing for bankruptcy. Later, she confessed the bankruptcy came from contract traps that left her with under $2,000 in royalties, while being forced to repay her label for clothes, travel, studio sessions, and video costs. Things got so dire that at one point Toni was even accused of secretly transferring $53,490 to her husband Carrie Lewis, just to dodge creditors during the bankruptcy battle. This was right when she sat down with Oprah. And while Toni assumed the interview would earn her some sympathy for her financial mess, it ended up being downright humiliating. She later said Oprah came off as judgmental, condescending, and completely unsympathetic.
Please welcome Toni Braxton!
She's so freaking mean to me. I was in shock. Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%.
100%.
I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me. I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this. She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware. First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware. You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. This big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down.
And if that blow wasn't brutal enough, Toni had to file for bankruptcy all over again in 2010. This time, it was triggered by her diagnosis of microvascular angina and then lupus, which forced her to cancel a massively profitable Las Vegas residency.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The
it.
insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself.
Right.
And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand it. So if you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary, so then you have nothing left.
On top of that, trouble followed in 2019 when the IRS slapped her with a lien on December 4th, claiming Toni owed $340,252.99 in back taxes from 2017. Just days later, California's Franchise Tax Board piled on, hitting her with a lien of their own for $116,154.64, pushing the total to nearly $500,000 in back taxes. And the real kicker? While drowning in debt, Toni was also forced to carry her whole family on her shoulders. She admitted many times she was the one holding it all together while her sisters barely lifted a finger.
Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show, I've been saying it.
Mommy and daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of.
None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
Before Vince.
before Vince, Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with Mommy car insurance. Boy, Tamar.
So yeah, for many folks it actually added up that Toni might have married Birdman for the cash. And honestly, I get why people jump to that conclusion. What I don't get is why Tamar would allegedly keep pushing that storyline. Is her bond with her sister really that toxic? Well, judging from what's circulating, Birdman isn't having any of it. Word on the street is he even pulled Tamar aside and checked her. But honestly, with a new season of their show about to drop, you already know the Braxtons will stir any pot to stay relevant. Drop your thoughts. Do you think all this drama is even worth it? In the comments below.